What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to RC Car Garage, and today we have the FCX18 K10 on the table. Like I said in my last video, I'm going to be doing a project with this thing. I'm not going to be using the body, mostly going to be using the chassis, and we're going to see how this is going to go. If you guys haven't yet, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you guys can end up seeing more videos that I'm going to be coming out with. It does end up helping the channel. So, like I said, we're going to be taking this body off because I am going to be using this body right here. It is a Toyota Tacoma in orange. My daughter is actually the one that chose this body. Big Lots was actually closing, so they had a whole bunch of stuff on sale. They had this Toyota, they had another one in silver, and my daughter decided she liked this color, so I decided to get this one. So my intention for this project is basically going to be take the Chevy body off and use this Taco body. The only thing is that, as you guys can see here, the wheelbase is longer on the K10. I'm going to have to get some links, or I'm going to make some links that is going to shorten up the wheelbase here so that the wheels line up perfectly with the wheel wells on the Tacoma. The other thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm not going to be using these wheels because they are too big for this body. I'm probably going to go something the size of the FCX24 or maybe the FCX18, something that's going to sit nice. It's not going to go all the way up there, but something that's going to sit nice into the wheel well. And it looks like the FCX24 wheel is probably going to be the one I'm going to, not this wheel, but definitely going to be going with 1.0s, and that is probably what's going to go in. The other thing that I might end up doing with this body is probably trim out this section here all the way around, just like I did with the Nissan Frontier body. So I'm going to go on ahead, start stripping this guy down, take the body off, leave it just a chassis, and see what I'm going to be working with. So let's go on ahead, take this body off. Alright, you guys, and here it is. I got the wheelbase shortened up, as you guys can see right here. I did end up making my own links. I had some brass rod, as you guys can see, and it just looks absolutely freaking awesome. It actually looks pretty good. So I did end up using the rod ends from the stock links. These are the stock links that came with it. So I took the links, the rod ends off, and I put them on my links. And guys, check that out. Check that out. I think that came out looking awesome. I did also take the sticker off of the sides here, as you guys can see, because I really didn't like those stickers on there. I still got a whole bunch of stuff that I want to do to this thing. I want to get something here on the bed, make like something, I don't know. And I do want to black out the rear windows because, as you guys can see, all the other windows are blacked out, but the back ones never got blacked out. So I have some black Velcro. I got some black vinyl that I'm going to wind up putting on the back window. The other thing I did end up doing on the body here, I just went along with some black paint, and I painted up that strip there, and I painted up this strip here. And I think this thing just looks absolutely freaking awesome so far. So the way that I made these links, I actually found it on YouTube. Somebody had gotten a hanger and just cut off the ends of the hanger, left it with a rod, and he ended up making threads himself, and it's just a rod that I got that off of him on YouTube, and I think these came out pretty dang good. Luckily, I had brass rod here, and the brass rod was like, I don't know, maybe 2 feet long, and it was enough, more than enough, for me to make the links on here, even though I messed up 1 or 2 links. But I'm going to show you guys how I ended up making these links. So let's go and check out how I did it. All right, you guys, so we're down in my garage and I'm going to show you guys how I ended up making those links for the FCX18. And here is the brass rod that I was telling you about. And if you look, the tag is still on there, which it shows brass round, 1/8 inch. This thing was 3 foot long, but now it is a lot less. So I'm going to show you my setup and I'm going to show you guys how I ended up making those links. Let's go. All right, so the first thing I did was I grabbed my caliper here. Grab my caliper, did my measurements with the old link that we have right here. So I ended up making, as you can see, this is a stock link that was on the FCX18, and you can see there's like a black line right there. So I measured it, did my measurements and everything, as you guys can see here. Just use the caliper, measured what I needed to measure, and here's a perfect one. I don't want to use the new, I don't want to use part of this because I can probably still use this for something else, but I have a little bit right here, so I'm going to use that to show you guys how I ended up doing this. So what I wound up doing was I did my measurements and everything on the brass rod. Whoa, that's a lot. All right, so I did my measurements and everything on the brass rod, and then I would just go put the end of it on a drill, just like that. Open the chuck, close the chuck. So there is the end of it on the drill right there, if it would focus. So there it is right there. Then what I would do, so I did this setup. As you guys can see, I got the setup here with my Dremel and a clamp here holding it, and I would just turn that guy on, grab the drill just like this, and put it right up against there like that, and so the way I did this was I would grab the drill, put this right up against here like so, and just back it out. Go again. When it gets close to the end there, as you guys can see, I would do it a little bit closer. I would start doing it by hand. I wouldn't even use a drill. And just back out of it. Reverse. That's what I would do. And as you guys can see here, get that light out of here. So now, as you guys can see, there is the thread for the link. All right, you guys, and here it is put together and ready to rock and roll. The wheelbase on this thing, the links that I made for it looks absolutely awesome. I love the way that it came out. As you guys can see, I do have the Patriot or the FMS Arizona wheels on it because I think that these from the K10 are just going to be way too big on here. So I ended up putting these wheels on temporarily. I am going to be getting wheels and tires for this, but for right now, the way that it sits, I think it looks absolutely freaking awesome. So the way that I mounted this thing, again, this is temporary until I figure out a good way of mounting it. I'm thinking magnets, but I was also trying to get the body to sit perfectly onto the chassis. So the way that I did that, as you guys can see there, I used the plastic posts that were on the body to mount the body onto the chassis right there with some aluminum on there. And I also have the inside of it, like you can actually see it on the hood right here, those two divots right here. So this divot right here is actually sitting inside the battery tray. The two inside ones, as you guys can see right there, there's one there where my finger's pointing to, and there's another kind of divot right there. Those are two posts that are actually sitting inside the battery tray that I have to trim out, because that's how I was aligning the body onto the chassis, and it came out looking freaking awesome. So those two aluminum L brackets, they are temporary until I really figure out a way how that's going to be mounted there in the front. Now in the back right here, I just used some Velcro, as you guys will be able to hear it. So as you guys can see it right there, I just used some Velcro to be able to put that on there. And some, honestly, that plastic piece right there is just held on to that with double-sided tape. And so far, I've already ripped the body off of this thing a good couple times, and it's still on there. The double-sided tape has not given up. So I want to take this guy out. I want to see how it's going to do with this body. Now remember, you guys, the wheelbase went from that to this, and I gotta say, as much as I do like the square body, I already have a square body, so there we are, and I am really liking this. So let's go take this guy outside. Let's see how it does. Let's go. All right, you guys, and there it is. I have got to say this thing did better than I was actually expecting it to, especially here on the mini crawler course. I mean, the tires that I'm using on this thing are from the FMS Arizona, I believe it is, and I have got to say that the tires actually did pretty dang good. I'm very amazed with the way that these tires perform on this thing. I mean, it really couldn't have gone any better than it did, but it is going to need some wheels. I kind of do like the wheels and the wheels on this. I mean, check out those wheels. It does not look bad. The articulation on this thing did very good. Again, guys, it's an FCX18, so the articulation is going to be really good on this thing. The other thing that I'm going to need to do is probably shave some of the body around here on the wheel wells, especially on the front, just for the main fact that there is a lot of rubbing, as you guys just saw in the video. So the shocks is another thing that I want to upgrade on this, because I will be honest with you, it definitely deserves it with the way that it just performed. Now, the other thing, I hope you guys noticed, I did end up painting the front of the grill here and here in the lower valance, which I think gives this guy a really nice look compared to the way it was with all the silver and everything. So that is another thing I did. And if you guys can also see the handles, the door handles, I also painted, as you guys see there. I'm actually thinking about taking off the lenses and painting the back of it, or maybe just leaving it like that. I'm looking at my neighbor's Tacoma right over there, and his headlights, the size of it, the side of the headlight here is black, then it has like a little orange right in there, and then the rest of it is silver. So I might end up leaving it like that. But guys, I got to say, this thing did absolutely great. I love the way that it performed. So with that being said, you guys, don't forget, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you all in another video. You all have a good one. Keep RCing.